You know Lyndon B. Johnson as the Texan who took office after JFK's assassination, who championed civil rights and escalated the Vietnam War. But what if that's just the tip of the iceberg? Beneath the policy and persona lies something darker. A legacy of corruption, cover-ups, mysterious deaths, and dynastic power that may stretch as far as the Bush family and CIA intrigue. In this documentary, we'll descend the layers of the Johnson iceberg, from public record to suppressed history, to conspiracies that still haunt American politics. And with that, my friends, welcome to another episode of
Instead of George Walker Bush, how were we protected from the coronavirus? What about 9/11? Who founded the KKK? Why Hayes instead of Tilden? Did all of them get away? You gotta ask history. You wanna ask history? We have to ask history. Guys, let us ask history. You gotta ask history. You wanna ask history? We have to ask history. Guys, let us ask history.
Level 1. The tip of the iceberg. The stories everyone knows. The Great Society and Civil Rights Legacy. LBJ is often remembered as the architect of the Great Society programs. Medicare, Medicaid, the Voting Rights Act and the Civil Rights Act of 1964. These are landmark achievements that reshaped American life and racial politics. But they also served to overshadow growing controversies beneath the surface. The Gulf of Tonkin and escalation of Vietnam. In 1964, Johnson used alleged attacks on US ships in the Gulf of Tonkin to justify full military engagement in Vietnam. Later evidence revealed the attacks were either misrepresented or didn't happen at all. Johnson was accused of manipulating intelligence to expand war powers, leading to over 58,000 American deaths. The Daisy Ad and 1964 campaign tactics. Johnson's presidential campaign ran one of the most infamous political ads in history, the Daisy Ad, implying that electing Barry Goldwater would result in a nuclear war. It was a masterclass in psychological warfare, laying the foundation for modern fear-based campaign strategies. These are the stories in the textbooks, but below them lies a trail of deals, cover-ups and connections that raise serious questions about how Johnson really wielded power. Level 2. Below the surface. Early corruption and political machinations. The 1948 Senate election scandal. Box 13. In 1948, Johnson won his Senate seat by just 87 votes. After ballots were mysteriously discovered in ballot box 13, full of identical handwriting and signatures, accusations of fraud erupted. A federal judge called it the most corrupt election in US history. Despite evidence, Johnson was sworn in. It was the moment that earned him the nickname Landslide Lyndon, a sarcastic jab that stuck. Bobby Baker scandal. In the early 1960s, LBJ's protege, Bobby Baker, was investigated for bribery, kickbacks, and influence peddling. Baker ran an elite DC club that catered to politicians and businessmen, and allegedly arranged sex parties and backroom deals. While Johnson denied involvement, Baker himself said, "I knew where all the bodies were buried." The scandal nearly derailed Johnson's career before JFK's death and changed everything. Connections to Brown and Root. Johnson's ties to construction giant Brown and Root, now part of Halliburton, date back to his earliest campaigns. The company profited enormously from New Deal infrastructure contracts and later Vietnam War logistics. Critics say Johnson secured their deals in exchange for campaign funding, effectively launching the era of the military-industrial complex. We're not just talking about political games here. We're talking about systematic corruption embedded in the American government's foundation. Level 3. Deeper Currents. The Johnson family web and hidden dynasties. Lady Bird Johnson's investments. Lady Bird Johnson's family quietly invested in radio and television stations across Texas. Acquisitions that conveniently expanded during Johnson's rise to power. Critics argue she used inside connections to secure FCC approvals and bury licenses below market value, turning the Johnsons into media moguls. The Bush family connection. Many forget that George H.W. Bush, future president and CIA director, was a Texas oil man during LBJ's rise, and a frequent name in CIA and intelligence chatter during the 1960s. Declassified documents show Bush was believed on the JFK assassination before the public announcement, despite denying he was involved with the CIA at the time. Charles Marsh and influence networks. Texas media magnate Charles Marsh was one of Johnson's earliest and most loyal backers. He allegedly facilitated hush money, political blackmail, and press control for LBJ throughout his career. Marsh's reach over Southern journalism and oil wealth helped Johnson neutralize opposition and control narratives at home. By this level, we're seeing a portrait of a man surrounded not by aides, but by loyal power brokers who knew how to operate in the shadows. Level 4. The Abyss. The JFK assassination and the Whisper campaigns. Johnson's alleged motive in JFK's death. Some historians, and more than a few former insiders, have speculated that Johnson had foreknowledge or involvement in the JFK assassination. One former Nixon aide, Roger Stone, claimed Johnson told multiple sources, "After tomorrow, those Kennedy boys will never embarrass me again." The Billy Sol Estes Confessions. Billy Sol Estes, a disgraced Texas businessman and Johnson's associate, claimed LBJ was involved in multiple murders, including that of Henry Marshall, an agriculture official investigating fraud tied to Estes. Though Estes was convicted of fraud, his claims were investigated by the Texas Attorney General and never conclusively debunked. Malcolm Wallace and the fingerprint on the 6th floor. A fingerprint found in the Texas school depository where the fatal shots were fired allegedly matched Malcolm Mac Wallace, a known Johnson associate convicted of murder in 1951, who received a shockingly lenient sentence. Wallace allegedly worked for the Johnson machine for years afterward. This isn't just grassy knoll territory. These are real names, real deaths, and real investigations that leave behind troubling inconsistencies. Level 5. The Ocean Floor. Secrets, surveillance, and the legacy of control. The FBI tapes and Martin Luther King Jr. While J. Edgar Hoover led the FBI's campaign against MLK, Johnson was fully believed on the effort and did nothing to stop it. Johnson even reportedly listened to audio tapes of King's private life as part of an effort to keep him in line. This dark chapter reveals the lengths to which Johnson used the surveillance state as a weapon. CIA coup coordination and Operation Chaos. LBJ expanded CIA domestic spying efforts under Operation Chaos, meant to monitor anti-war activists and civil rights leaders. While illegal, Johnson authorized surveillance on journalists, senators, and even allies. His White House was bugged, tapped, and managed like a fortress. The mysterious death of Mary Pinkett Mayer. Mary Mayer, mistress to JFK and ex-wife of a high-ranking CIA official, was murdered in 1964, months after Johnson took office. Her diary allegedly contained information linking CIA operations to domestic political shifts. The diary vanished. The suspect was acquitted. The case remains unsolved. LBJ's final days and the strange silence. In retirement, Johnson became reclusive and deeply paranoid. He once told a reporter, "We were running a damn murder factory in Vietnam." His final years were spent in isolation on his Texas ranch, where visitors noted he seemed haunted. Some believe he feared secrets buried during his presidency would one day surface. This is the bottom of the iceberg. The place where state secrets, suppressed histories, and the unchecked power of one man converge in eerie silence. Final thoughts. What we've explored in the Johnson iceberg is not just a list of scandals. It's a timeline of power that morphed into paranoia. From stolen elections to war profiteering, from media manipulation to whispered connections with assassination plots, LBJ's legacy remains deeply tangled in America's political DNA. While some of these claims are speculative, others are undeniable. And together, they form a chilling portrait of how power not only corrupts, but builds empires that never fully dissolve. What do you think? Write your opinion and version of the iceberg in the comments below. Please be polite and kind. If you want to know how deep the Nixon iceberg is, click on the video on the left. Thanks for watching.